Dueling traditions in Europe have a long history, dating back to the early Middle Ages when duels were an important part of judicial proceedings. The culture of dueling has existed in Europe for at least 1,000 years. In the popular imagination, swordplay and gunfights are seen as a male privilege, with duels being one-on-one confrontations between men. However, this is not entirely accurate. In August 1892, two noblewomen engaged in a bare-chested duel in the outskirts of Vienna, causing a sensation. The duelists were Princess Pauline von Metternich of Austria and Countess Anastasia Kielman-Seg of Russia. The conflict arose because Princess Metternich, who had been mourning her late husband, returned to social life only to find that Countess Kielman-Seg had stolen her spotlight. This led to a bitter rivalry between the two. When the Vienna Floral Exhibition took place in 1892, the two prominent socialites had a confrontation over the floral arrangements. Combining old grudges with new ones, they decided to settle their differences once and for all with their swords. In the 19th century, when a noblewoman's honor was offended, the usual practice was to have noble gentlemen duel on her behalf. These gentlemen were often eager to showcase their masculinity and chivalry in such situations. However, the princess and the countess decided to settle the matter themselves. Both women arrived at the agreed location, accompanied by Baroness Lubinska, who had a medical degree and was familiar with treating combat injuries, ready to provide medical assistance if necessary. It was she who suggested that both women remove their tops to prevent wound infection. Thus, the two noblewomen began their duel bare-chested. In the end, the princess's sword cut the countess's nose, and the countess's sword subsequently pierced the princess's arm. They fought to a draw, and ultimately shook hands and made peace. This was not the first instance of a duel between women. Female duels date back to the 18th century, with one of the most famous occurring in 1722 in the Bois de Boulogne on the outskirts of Paris. The duelists were notable figures. One was Madame de Polignac of the Mazarin family. The other was the Marquise de Nesle of the Maintenon family. Despite being cousins by marriage, their relationship did not prevent them from fighting over love. The object of their rivalry was the charming and dashing third Duke of Richelieu, Louis-François. As a descendant of Cardinal Richelieu, Louis inherited no political talent, but his skill at romantic escapades made him a prominent figure in the court. Despite frequently changing girlfriends, every woman seemed to be madly in love with him. Regarding this, the court's gossip queen, Madame Palatine, mother of the Regent Philippe, wrote in her diary, "All the women have fallen for this little toad. I simply do not understand the taste of young people nowadays. He's not particularly handsome, lacks manners, is unfaithful, and has little courage." Falling in love with the same man, the Marquise de Nesle had no patience for other schemes. She decided to challenge her rival to a one-on-one duel like a man. Her open challenge was accepted, and the duel was set to take place in the Bois de Boulogne near Paris. News spread quickly, and on the day of the duel, Parisian reporters flocked to the scene. The rules were simple. Under the supervision of two gentlemen referees, they would use highly lethal pistols as weapons. At the designated distance, they would shoot at each other, and the one left standing would be the winner. Before the duel began, the Viscountess of Polignac provocatively said, "Madame, I will let you fire first. Aim well and shoot at my chest. If I don't fall, I will make sure you do." This taunt made the Marquise de Nesle nervous. As expected, when the duel began, the Marquise's shot hit a tree behind the Viscountess. The Viscountess seized the moment and pulled the trigger, and the Marquise fell with a scream. The onlookers rushed to check her condition. Fortunately, the bullet had grazed her shoulder, causing significant bleeding but not endangering her life. The Viscountess mocked her, saying, "Next time anyone dares to compete with me for a man, I'll smash her head and dig out her heart to eat with my meal." With that, she left in her carriage, smiling victoriously. People quickly used herbs and bandages to stop the bleeding of the Marquise de Nele. Reporters interviewed the tearful Marquise, who was crying loudly. "Madame, how do you feel about this? Do you think it was worth it?" The Marquise shouted, "Worth it! Bleeding for love is absolutely worth it! I will shed my last drop of blood for my lover." The reporters quickly asked, "Can you reveal the name of this lover?" The Marquise proudly said, "He is the nicest and most handsome man at court, desired by every woman, but I have proven that I love him more than anyone else. He is the eldest son of Mars and Venus, the Duke of Richelieu." When the Duke of Richelieu saw the news in the tabloids the next day, he remarked to those around him, "My God, these women are insane. I'd better keep my distance." Shortly afterward, he began openly pursuing Charlotte, the daughter of the regent. Although the Viscountess of Polignac was formidable, she didn't dare to challenge a princess and had to give up. Of course, our Viscountess quickly found a new target. Rumors had it that she was curious about how Muslims made love, so she went to flirt with the son of the Turkish ambassador.